Hello YouTube, it's 4:38 p.m. Friday, October 22nd, 2021. I'm kind of debating with myself as to whether or not 2021 has been the worst year of my life, and I think objectively I've had worse years, but it's definitely in the running. So looks like I timed the bus pretty good here, and also looks like there's somebody waiting at the bus stop, so I'm gonna cut this pretty short. But just on my way to Bullocks, did not sleep well today. Had a hell of a time getting to sleep, and it seemed like every time that I did almost get to sleep, I would get a phone call. One of them was from my mental health clinic case manager, so that's a good thing. That's definitely a wanted and welcome call. And probably that's unnerving. I probably got her a little bit worried about me, but telling her how I'm feeling, what's going on, and I mean, it's something I talked about a few videos ago. What's the better thing to do? Let those who are in the business of helping you actually know how you feel and how you're hurting, or just keep it bottled up inside. And of course she's like, well, that's gonna, you're just gonna end up locked in a hospital. And yeah, I'm like, yeah, that makes my situation worse. I'd rather do something criminal and get myself locked up in prison. I mean, at this point, I'm already being discriminated against heavily because of my background. Like, I can't drive for, I can't work for DoorDash. I can't work for Lyft. I can't work for Uber. Can't work for Postmates. So many places that hire everybody that don't reply to me, presumably due to background check. In fact, I even had my what do you call it? My Airbnb account suspended due to my background check, and it's certainly not over anything recent. It's all the ones that have told me what the issue is have told me it's because of my felony from 1996. So I'm already actively being discriminated against over something that happened over a quarter century ago. So I stand really little to lose right now. Actually deliberately committing another felony now. I mean, that felony wasn't deliberate, and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that there was no intent there, and then it was just a matter of me being how do I phrase it? Me being unable to interpret my surroundings due to mental illness. Yeah, that doesn't matter. I'm still discriminated against all the same. Had I, had criminal intent and actually meant to do what I was convicted for, so might as well get to enjoy doing something like that. And then again, I see all these videos of people in California just blatantly committing crimes and getting away with it. I mean, shit, there's a 18-year-old recently carried a gun to school and murdered two people, or nearly murdered three people. I'm not sure how many of them died, to be honest, but basically shot three people. Who was let go that night. I'm sure he's still facing some charges, but I don't think he's facing murder charges. And his family threw him a welcome back, threw him a party for that. Which is, I don't have anybody throwing me a party, so I don't know. And the reasons to adhere to social rules are certainly dropping out of my window right now. Anyway, I don't know. I suppose the biggest thing I have to lose is the custody of Lily. Not that that's worth a whole lot right now, as I have no idea where she is. But anyway, I should wrap this up. I need to call the cable company and pay the bill. After insisting that she didn't have the money, Priscilla suddenly had the money. I guess she realized that none of her friends actually like her enough to let her invade their space for her work from home office job. Which I guess, there's advantages and disadvantages of that. The advantages is she'll probably, help me get through this month's rent, because I highly doubt that I have November rent. But the disadvantage is, of course, she's still taking up the majority of Lily's bedroom, which prevents me from actively trying to pursue finding and getting Lily back. And when I had Lily living with me full time, which I pretty much had between the ages of 5 and 9, I let her mother continue to get benefits for her, government benefits, food stamp and whatever else. She was part of my housing assistance, so I can't say I was letting her mother get all benefits, but she was part of my housing benefits before she was even born. And I could go into detail on how that works, but and perhaps I could have appealed had I followed through, had I had the mental wherewithal and follow through on my reinstatement of Home Inc. earlier this year, in March and April. Had I had the wherewithal to go through with everything and then get denied based on Lily not physically being there with me, and appealed it, based on the fact, hey, she's not with me because she's been kidnapped against custody orders, and the way that I got, the way that she qualified towards my housing prior to my being her being born was based on the main reason that you get housing for a child is having a child. That's a no-brainer. But there's also a provision where if you have a child that's not living with you and having a room for that child can be demonstrated as a significant factor in you getting custody of your child that you don't have, then that's a reason as well, and that's the reason that I qualified for it before Lily was born. But certainly that was still a factor at play when I lost my housing assistance in April. And it's considerably still at play now. So, and all other assistance I let her mother continue to receive, food stamps, and I'm sure there was some other stuff as well. Now her medical, Lily's medical is Lily's medical. That went to her mom, and honestly, I was, more than happy to let her mother handle that. She always seemed to give her credit where it's due. She always did seem to handle that really well. And prior to her disappearing with my daughter a couple of years ago, we were usually pretty good at, even when we weren't getting along, at least having open communication regarding Lily's medical stuff. Such as scheduling appointments, letting each other know when the appointments were. You know, so we'd both go with, or if she was with me, or if she was with her, she'd actually get to her appointments. Passing meds back and forth, but for as honestly, I mean, looking back, I know, I mean, certainly that was a more functional co-parenting than anything I ever had with Allison's mother. So there's that. But anyway, as long as Priscilla's still existing in that space, it's still a pipe dream, me getting my daughter back. So, and still really not, her and I still really aren't communicating. So, I don't know. It's my Friday night. Try to make the most of it today. Although I got a feeling by the time I get over to Bullocks, I'm gonna just kind of start breaking my stuff down. I don't feel like I'm gonna have any real time to work on music today. Honestly, as unhappy as I am with being in my apartment with Priscilla right now, I'm actually seriously thinking about seeing if I can get my friend who lives down in Gilbert, see if I can hit her up, stay with her for a few days just to actually work on music. I think she might actually be down for it. It feels like I haven't seen her. Like we spent some time on the phone, but it feels like I haven't actually seen her in like a month. And yeah, it feels like I haven't seen her in like a month, and yeah, I could be pretty content. That'd be actually a nice staycation for me, just to spend, you know, maybe a couple of days in her world, in her living room, with my karaoke stuff set up on the headphones. And I think she's got some stereo equipment I could actually connect it to. Nothing like, you know, when I had my Pro speakers set up in her living room, the B52s, and my Behringer PA. But I think it'd be enough for us to have some fun with, just use the strap. Enough to have some fun with, just yeah, to sing along to, and watch some videos, and she seemed pretty intrigued by my whole process of adding music, so could be a good time. I don't really have. Actually, I did get another order in, not a big money order, but I did get an order for 20 pack of DVD cases, which it's like the last thing I wanted to sell on eBay right now, because my all of those are in my storage, which is not far from my apartment, but it's real far when you're walking. And then of course when I go, I either have to bring my packing materials there and pack it up there in my storage and walk it over to the post office, or bring them back home, do the packaging at home, which is what we normally do if I had my car, and then bring it to the post office. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, some orders just don't go as fast as as I'd like them to go right now due to my transportation issues. But every time I do like to remember that, you know, I do have 3 business days from the day the order comes in to get stuff shipped, you know, without being considered late. And if you have an order that's occasionally like a day late, eBay doesn't seem to have a real issue with that. And most buyers seem to be a little bit understanding of that. Which reminds me, I've got got a CD that I sold recently that seems to have disappeared in the postal service. I need to get to the post office at some point and yeah, y'all rude. Oh, and that guy's gonna turn. Oh, he's okay. The bus got a red. Anyway, that is my bus. So try to find my mask and get to the bus stop. There will be more later. Thanks for caring.